So I found out who Boo Boo the Fool is. I'm sitting here meditating in my car and literally had all these thoughts going through my head, and it really started to make me think. So I'm having this whole conversation with myself out loud, and it was just too good not to share because it has to do with our government and the people here. I've realized that in my life I have been, there's gonna be some cuss words in this video, so if you got sensitive ears, like, that's my mouth. I am working on it though, but to hear the expressions, you know, I'll try. I have been forked by the government for long enough, basically. I have, you know, some things that I'm going through in my life, and I'm thinking, why am I still going through these things that happened years ago, that I did when it was so long ago, and it has nothing to do with my life right now? So I'm sitting there like, wow, the government has us all under some straight blackmail. And I'm thinking, you know, I am in white society's eyes, I am of color to 90%. You know, sometimes I fit in there and I'm good. It really depends on, you know, if I'm talking proper and how I'm dressed for me to fit in with that part of society, honestly. So I'm thinking, dang, I've done some crazy stuff and been in some forked up situations with the government, and I've been through things that y'all haven't been through, but y'all have also been through some things that I haven't been through. But as a whole collective, and it don't matter what skin color you are, we've been forked by the government. So we're all sitting here fighting each other and being mad and upset with each other for no reason, when the person behind all of this madness, this nonsense, is the people we vote for. Tell me how that system makes any sense to anybody. You believe that this person that we don't even know about has the authority and the competency to, you know, be the ruler of this nation. And I mean, clearly with how sleep we all are, I've been in this situation included, they're doing a really good job of it. But that it has ended because we have got to stop literally playing into their game. Going to court, why should we have to do these things? And I had this, you know, picture image in my head. Back whenever I did really get in trouble, I was drinking and driving, I felt awful for it, and mine wasn't even about the ticket. Like, I really had remorse of what if I were to have hurt somebody else and myself. That was the shitty part, where I thought, wow, I did something that could have killed another person, but I wasn't even in my right mind to make a decision, like, clearly. And I was okay with those consequences because I thought, hey, what if a mile ahead, you know? And it's a funny story now that I'm 30. Like, I tell that story now, which is for another time. Y'all be like, this girl, you know, life is funny to me. I could be a comedian and start making jokes about the crazy stuff I did as a youngster. Because I still am, like, young, but, you know, I'm learning. Regardless, they got us being literally mind effed. So we're being basically raped in the brain over and over again with no moisture. That's really what I want to say. They have us really thinking that this is real, and it's not. And with all the people that have been done wrong, I could tell you about all the crazy stuff that, you know, they've done, and you'll be like, that didn't happen. So for instance, this is what gets me. And a lot of men are usually the ones that complain about this, but whenever you see it firsthand, these men have every right to complain about child support because they did me dirty, you know? So how many people, it's even in the paperwork, like you can see it with your own eyes and be like, why is this happening? The system is failed. It's corrupt. It's not, they don't have smart people even like running this place, because you can see how all of us have been effed by the government in some way, shape, or form. I was paying $1,200 a month, and I hadn't even had a job that paid over $15 an hour yet whenever they did this paperwork. But I always added in the overtime, otherwise my checks wouldn't be stuffed. Could you imagine getting a check for $333 every 2 weeks, but you're working 60 hours a week? Because child support decides to take $1,200 a month out and insurance for my kids, and then I can't even, 2 of my children, and then one of them, I'm being so honest with y'all, one of them is at home with me. So now I can barely afford for me and my child to live, but just one of my children's was getting $900 a month in child support. And I would tell people this, like, why don't you ever have any money, Paris? I remember being in relationships and have to explain this shadow that hung over my head. I would be a hard worker and they'd be like, dang, this girl goes to work every day, but how come she ain't never got no money? Child support. And then they'd be like, why do you pay that much? And blah, blah, blah. It's now fixed. But it took me 3 years of writing the same letter over and over and over and over again for them to finally change it. And this was after you can switch it every 3 years. They don't care about you. They don't care. They could get your letter after you already sent it a year ago, and they're like just looking at your stuff, and it's already been years. They don't care. But regardless, it's like you have to learn all these laws, and there's so many laws that we don't know of. They could just say something and then you guys believe it because they're an authoritative figure. Like, I knew my rights one time getting pulled over and beat up by the police. Literally, they asked me for my ID, and I told them I don't have to show you my ID because I'm the passenger in the car. And for our laws here, that was real. That's really what it is. And I got out of that. I went and I became my own lawyer for that. It's actually a very triumphing story, but I'll just make it really little. The Spirit said, trust in me and be your own lawyer. Even when the judge tried to extend my stuff, he was giving me like grants, like, so it looked like a blessing, but I didn't even need what you were trying to bless me with because Spirit already had a plan for me. So I'll give you a continuance if you get a lawyer. I'll give you a They wanted me to get a lawyer so bad. Lawyer was like over $1,000. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna trust my gut instinct and I'm gonna do a little research. And I wrote it down on paper, which I still actually carry with me in my car, like all these laws while driving. And I went to court and I won. It was resisting arrest and failure to obey for not giving them my ID. Literally in jail. I'll even post the picture because it was me and my best friend. And they let her have her phone, but I couldn't have my phone because I was recording. This is how crazy life is. If this is just happening in my life, and sometimes, I do look at other people's situations and think, dang, look what happened to old boy, or look what happened to old girl. And I feel like, they've had to go through something worse than me, but we're all going through something bad. Why? We need social justice for the community. We are broken people here in a broken society and wonder why they've had to come up with medications to try to fix what they started, because it has now become a nightmare for everyone involved, everyone here. The prison system is a failure. You have people that went to jail for not doing anything. You have people that are in jail for not paying child support, but then how are they gonna pay their child support? You got people in jail for these minor drug possessions, but yet you got police officers that steal the drugs and do them. Let's be real. You think they have all those movies about crooked cops because they're not crooked? They're in a brotherhood. Every brotherhood, like a fraternity, is that same Illuminati, Freemasonry. They may be on a lower scale, but trust and believe, ask any of these people that work, even in the military. A brotherhood is a sacred bond, and behind that sacred bond
is some weird shit.
Some weird shit. Police officers, military, fraternities, sororities, don't leave them out. Yo, these people do ritualistic shit on a mass scale, and we're just now finding out about it. So think, I didn't realize, when we was little kids doing light as a feather, stiff as a board, that maybe the people I'm hanging out with know magic, and I'm oblivious to it. Now that I'm older and I'm spiritually aware, magic been real this whole time. So now that more people have realized that, oh, wow, we're magical. People have been throwing magic out into the universe left and right. People is out here casting spells left and right, and they're doing it with intention. Do you know how powerful that is? It's a spiritual war. I saw, whenever I got that thought in my head, I literally saw Fruit Ninja, like just chopping these spells, casting them away, because it's a spiritual war out here. Now that people are able to use their magic consciously, like they're very aware of what they're doing, and just because you're not aware, like whenever I was a little kid. So I had been around all these people that was aware of something great, and I knew nothing about it. My grandparents didn't teach me about my roots. So basically, I did grow up on the fantasy of learning from the government. Which I guess that could be the only thing we could be thankful for right now, is those subliminal messages. Like, we really do have this, not only do we need to forgive, for our grandparents, because we have to be understanding that some of them, they just really didn't know. They really didn't know. I'm very grateful for my grandma who has passed away, that now I can see what she was trying to teach me. But back then, again, it still sounded like a bunch of mumbo jumbo. It sounded like folklore. It sounded like fairy tales. I'm like, okay, grandma. But yet we really did see it as we were growing up. Every Walt Disney Pixar movie that we've ever seen has a hidden meaning behind it. Every single one of them. Walt Disney was a genius, okay? We did have that, but at this point, we gotta use our magic to overthrow whatever this is, because I am a person that believes with my whole heart that we can all live in peace and harmony. And I believe it starts with us. We are the gods of this planet. We are the leaders of this planet. When are we going to start acting like it? When are we going to start acting like it? And another thing is that people haven't realized is some people are still manifesting into their society. They get their powers, and then they're like, oh, they want to get rich for something that has nothing to do. Like, for me, let me get some land and let me start a garden and start building my house. And those are the types of goals I have. Some people's goals are to still stay in the matrix whenever and then that's not gonna work. We want to get out of the system, so we don't need their name brand clothings. Everything that you even get in this world, so whenever you're getting the Fendi, Coach, Louis Vuitton, Michael Kors, just all those top brands, they're literally all the same as Walmart, Target, Kohl's. They're all the same. They're all the same. It just has a different name / brand on it. You're paying for the name of somebody's business, which a lot of the time is like their last name. You're paying for this person's legacy, but you're not putting any money towards your own legacy. So that makes no sense. We don't need those things, and they literally all come from the same place. I've said this before, this analogy. This white shirt I got on right now, they have this same white shirt at the mall. They have this same white shirt at Walmart. It's made from the exact same factory, the exact same store, and depending on where you're selling it at, the price differs. But it was made by the same person for the same amount in a factory. Most of these places is China. Then you also got food. It showed me in my mind's eye the Monopoly board. So I'm gonna state multiple. For the Midwest, we got Hy-Vee and Price Chopper, and then you got like your Walmarts, and then in Atlanta you got your Publix and your Kroger. It's literally all coming from the same place. Whole Foods, Save-A-Lot, Aldi's, all those places are exactly the same. They're all coming from the same different types of farms. Sometimes they are like in different states and outsourced, but for the most part, it's being made with the same chemicals. All these, they're all being exactly the same, and they have to follow these guidelines, because if they don't put X amount of stuff, like your food isn't poison. Now, hey, some of these farmers might have been like, if it was me and I was working in those types of facilities, I'd be like, oh, this is poisonous. We gonna leave this ingredient out and we ain't gonna tell nobody. That would be because I would do something for the greater good. Fuck this job. You're gonna fire me for saving people? Bye. That is the type of person that I am. That's probably one of the main reasons I can't keep a job. I cannot work in corporate America, because they call it an attitude. They call it an attitude problem. Like, I don't do well with authority. But if authority is doing something wrong, who gonna authoritate them? I'm gonna at least let people know that what they doing is illegal before I leave. Like, you gonna be pulling me out the job, kicking and screaming, but at least I'm gonna be speaking the truth about it on my way out, because that's who I am. And I'd be like, fuck that job. I don't need I don't need that to have to do what y'all want me to do. No. Sometimes the pay didn't even match the job detail, and I'm like, oh, so y'all want me to do for what? Or you want me to go over the job description? That was always a big one. You want me to do something that's not in my job description? No. Fire me. No. I would literally say, that per my manual that I always had, that's not in my job description. No, I sure won't. So that is why Paris cannot work in corporate America, because I don't believe in it. And all these people that are corporate America is literally a game of Monopoly, and they just buy up little places all over the United States. Some counties or places look like other places because they're owned by the same people. So New York and Atlanta, the reason why Piedmont Park and Central Park look just alike, it's because it's under the same ownership. In the big scheme of things, the ones that we don't see, the architecture was the same because it's owned by the same person. So if you start matching different laws around the United States, you'll see how these places are connected. So there's people that are rich that own a county in Kansas City, a county in California, or several counties in different states. They own them. Like, that's their land. So these places are just being rented. And in order to start these businesses, you have to go ask the higher ups to build on their land. This stuff gets super duper weird, like how controlled they are trying to be. But how does that person own the land? who made you the owner of the earth? If we're all human here, what makes you more important than me? What makes me more important than you? We all deserve shelter just to feel safe. No matter what you feel like that shelter looks like. You know, if you want a big mansion, cool. If you want a little cottage in the woods, cool. But we should all feel safe in this world. We should all be fed. We should all have clean water. Because there's infinite amount of water. They just recycle it and recycle it. So we're basically getting the same basic DNA and nasty diseases and viruses embedded in us over and over again on purpose to keep this BS going. Are y'all tired? Because I know I be tired. I'm done. I feel like for me, I'd rather be dead than have to continue on with the Matrix, because I'm not doing this anymore. No, I signed up to conquer my master, my life, and it has nothing to do with corporate America or whatever type of system they have in any other continent. Y'all don't tell me what to do. You're not my mom and you're not my dad. That's all I can say. And I feel that way about anyone else. As long as we're doing the things that don't hurt other people, we are, our intentions are pure. Our intentions are not only to do something to benefit self, but others as well. We should all be able to live in that manner and not have to worry about being evicted or going hungry, starving, becoming addicted to prescription medications because they told you had something that wasn't even real, but now they've created a real disease because they provided you medication that now has made you sick whenever you didn't actually have anything in the first place. And I know y'all understand that. So just keep that in mind. They do that all the time. And then since you believe them because they're authoritative over you, how a doctor gonna tell me about myself and I'm the only person that been with me since day one? You're smarter than me because, oh, you have a degree? Okay, well, I know me a lot better than you do. Regardless, you'll believe a doctor because they said something, because it's their job to make money. They're basically trying to sell you a sickness. That's what doctors do. Doctors sell you a sickness and you buy it. You buy sickness through their prescriptions and stuff. Look at it that way. Crazy. That's almost disgusting because I'm looking at it that way for the first time. But you see what I'm saying? This system is crazy from all parts, every part. I have so many other stories about how, crazy stuff has happened, and you're like, how do they get away with that? And it's always money. People that have money can just get away with random bullshit. If they have money, they can get out of 5 DWIs. Because, usually people that have that type of money are in these big families where they just go talk to their lawyer friend or their judge friend and they go play golf, because golf is a key word for them to make decisions. Anytime the president's going to play golf, he's making a big decision. Anytime your lawyer is like, oh, I'm going to go play golf, they're making a big decision. I had a lawyer that sold me out. He literally told me he was going to play golf. And then after he came back from his golf trip, I lost my case. You're telling me you went to go play golf with my opponents. They sold you a big amount. Well, we'll give you this if you do this. And of course, they're going to take money because it's just money. And so, then I get left with nothing. So just know that there's people out here that have been hindering your life for $1. I had somebody sell me out about one of my cars that got repoed for $500. They sold me out. And this is someone who I thought was my best friend. This is how corrupt the world really is over $1. So think in your head, what would you do for $1? You know, what would you do for $1? Because a lot of people think that some of these ideas of getting paid are acceptable. And I'm gonna tell you this right now: what you put into this world, you get back. And if the intentions are scamming and fucking people over, it comes back to you. Everything comes back to you. Even if sometimes it's the intentions is an accident, which I'm gonna tell y'all a story about a girl. I'm gonna tell you a story about a girl in another video, how karma always comes back around for you, because I've seen it even in my life. And you'll be like, wow, yeah, that's how spirit works. That's how this whole world, how this whole system universally works. So what you put out, trust me, you're gonna get back. So the more that you put good in, you're building your spiritual wealth, which equals life, eternal life. That's what your spiritual work does for you, your growth. Otherwise, you're just stuck living in this. What we're doing now is not living. We're existing. We're not living. I mean, we're not. This isn't how we didn't come here to work, pay bills, and die. That's not life. That's not beauty. That's not love. That ain't right. And I'm just going to be the person that, with my whole soul, even though it hurts, this deprogramming even hurts me. I think in my head, am I the only person that is going through this? Because there's not a lot of us out here. I think in my head all the time, am I the only person willing to do this? Because I'll do it myself even if it doesn't look good to others, to prove a point. And standing out and going against what everybody's doing, people are going to be looking at you. They're going to be like, what? Did y'all see? You know, like you see somebody walking down the street dressed up as a costume, everybody's going to look, because I'm a distraction. I'm going to be one of the biggest distraction to their plan, because I want the system to fail and reboot, because this is not real life. And I don't want to live like this anymore. And I don't want my kids or grandkids to live in this slavery system anymore. This is not fair to people. It's not right. It's morally not right what they're doing on every level. My heart goes out to everybody in the world that has had to experience what they are doing to us, because we're all going through it. These fake wars that, I mean, they're fakely set up, but the people that are dying are not fake. Just like what's going on now. I mean, the mind part of it is fake. Like, it's not, I mean, what they're saying it is isn't what it is. People out here are dying from fear of something that they are trying to sell to you. And that's why they pay these people the biggest amount of monies. The celebrities, the doctors, these people hold the highest rank of keeping your life in fear. Celebrities are getting paid because they have an agenda. Their music is a mantra that is played on a low frequency, and then you go around singing the same song over and over and over again. And since our words cast spells, and they know that we're stronger than them, but we're singing their songs, their music that is bad for our souls, but we keep doing it. Guess what? We keep on making their dreams a reality, but realize they're puppets. Yo, they got a puppet master too, and you guys have to look through that. Like, they're getting paid by the higher ups, because it's, again, how much money will you take to do some fucked up shit to people? Now think about doing that on a mass scale. That's what we call a sellout. You sold your people out. You said, forget them. You were so selfish. And I say this all the time, like you got billions of dollars, but we got poor people that are starving. I don't understand. If I had money, it would be to change the world, not just hoard it to myself. Not to have 5 houses. Can they just get one? You got 5 cars, but you got this pregnant single mother of 3, and you just can't help a girl out. This is how I think about people. And look, sometimes I'm a bit of a people pleaser, but I ain't gonna let my people go out like that. I will not. If I got somebody that is in need, I will give you the shirt off my back, literally. I will give you my last couple of dollars to make sure, because I know I'm gonna survive. At the end of the day, I know I'm gonna survive. And I'm gonna go to bed and I'm gonna thank God for the day. And then whenever I wake up, I'm gonna be like, thank you. I made it another day. So whenever I do stuff and it's my last, you know what? God fills me up magically. But I really do want to tell you, God works through other people. You pray and God will send somebody into your life, but also remember, the devil show up too. Like basically you always have 2 options. You always have equal and opposite reaction, because there's multiple universes going on. So every time you have a big decision to make, just know it's going to change the rest of your life. Every decision you make, honestly, just to continue staying somewhere that you don't want to be, or continuing going to a job you don't want to go to, or continuing pretending to be something that you're not. Those are serious decisions, and to every decision there's an equal and opposite reaction. So for you holding out on yourself right now, and I'm saying this to me, to hold out on yourself every day, there's another version of you that's already started. There's another, and that's why we're able to be blessed. And that's what hopping on another timeline in another universe is actually like. So at least, Paris and alternate universe, 36 or 555, they already started. So I could just hop on that timeline and be like, whew, so everything that you want and pray for, it is already there. So it's all on you to make that decision to go towards it. And whatever we're trying to do in this universe as a collective, we have to go towards it, even if we have to speak up and our voice shakes, even if we have to look like the outcast, even if we have to detach from things, because in the end, I know detachment sucks. I always hear, I do not chase, I attract. And anybody that's supposed to be with you on this journey, they'll be there. I know a lot of people have these attachments to things like, oh, my family. If they're supposed to be with you, they will raise their vibration to meet you up there. But we can't keep on holding on to people anymore, because holding on to somebody while you're swimming, they can't learn to swim, but you're holding on to them, y'all both gonna drown. And that's really happened to me. So you have to let go, and they either learn to swim or they sink. But they have all the tools within them to know how to swim, because why? We was actually all born with it. We was born out the water. So everybody on this earth knows how to swim. Just like everybody on this earth knows how to ride a bike. You learning to do something is not you learning to do something. It's you remembering how to do something. And then the more you do it over and over again, practice makes perfect. The more you do something over and over and over like a mantra, in reality, it becomes real. So even though sometimes your purpose does not look like nobody else out here, continue to believe in yourself. I am going to say that. Continue to believe in yourself, and continue to, I'm going to say it almost in every video, speak your truth. Speak your truth, and then live in it. Live in it. Even if other people want to say some crazy stuff, and try to make you feel bad. They just trying to make you feel bad because they don't have the courage to do the same thing that you're doing, even though they have the opportunity. There's a lot of people that can do what you're doing, but they choose not to. And then some people really do get jealous of that. And if you're mad because someone gets to sit at home and be in peace, then maybe it's because you want to sit at home and be in peace, but you choose not to. Boo, you choose to be tortured. I can only help those who help themselves, and we know that saying, God helps those who helps themselves. You are the person that has to put the effort forward. You're the motivation behind it. You are a key recipe, your key ingredient to the recipe in order for it to turn out perfect. Like you do kind of have these certain steps, kind of like, baking a cake, chemistry. In my head, I'm literally hearing this and making medicines or potions or teas. All these things have certain components to make it do what it does. So in order for us to do what we need to do, we got to fill in all these components. And then it comes into an outcome. But, I'm outside because I want to ground today. It's a nice day to put my feet in the grass. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get myself electrically charged for the week. Just in case it's cold and I can't come back outside. Like, I'm like a child. I want to go play outside. But I do be, like, nobody wants to be out in the cold. That's miserable. I want to be outside when it's 130 degrees. And I like that feeling. I like the feeling of the heat heating up the back of my neck. I want to feel the heat glowing on my cheekbones here and here. I want to see the glow on my shoulder blades whenever I'm in a tank top. I love the sun. I do, because it feels good. It's warm, I like that feeling, whenever you're in like fuzzy sheets. Anyways, like I said, because I'm getting too comfy over here, I'm gonna go. But y'all enjoy your life. Enjoy the day. And we'll be back with more of Paris's wild, crazy thoughts about what they call reality. Have a good day.